afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Wednesday. Start getting your plant and garden questions ready.
That's right. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company will be out on the backyard patio, and Mark and I will let you know when it's time to call in.
But first, here's what's making news on this Wednesday. State Attorney General Josh Kaul is introducing a way for students to report threats to their school.
Days after President Trump visited Kenosha, Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden is also making a trip.
And people in Rock County are gathering to ask for peace and justice following the shooting of Jacob Blake. Let's take a look outside on this second day of September. Beautiful sunrise this morning.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot.
A little windy tomorrow are the weather words. Dana's in the backyard with details on that.
Right now it's nice and sunny and warm, a really pleasant evening, but as we look ahead to tomorrow, we are going to have some stronger wind gusts picking up. Right now, as we look downtown with our Edgewater sky cam, a few clouds in the sky, but a lot of sunshine coming through. Also, we're close to 80 degrees right now with dew points in the 40s, so it feels quite comfortable outside. Doppler track is quiet. It's going to stay quiet even as we look ahead to the wind chances tomorrow. Temperatures overnight dropping to about 60 for our overnight lows, so not too cool to start off the day. You'll be able to enjoy sunshine and dry weather through Saturday, but there are going to be some rain chances for this weekend for Sunday and for Labor Day. Next week, a little bit cooler, highs in the 60s. We'll take a closer look at your full 10-day in just a few minutes. Right now on the roads, we aren't seeing any major delays for your drive home this evening for southwestern Wisconsin. Things look pretty smooth outside along the Beltline and for downtown Madison. Now for the Janesville area and in Rock County, the interstate should be a fairly smooth drive. To get from Janesville to the Beltline, 26 minutes, 16 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton, and separated downtown about 9 minutes this evening. I should have grabbed the shades before I came out here. It's a little sunny outside right now.
I'll enjoy it while we can.
Yes,
All
definitely.
right, Dana, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you. Wisconsin is rethinking the idea of lockdowns and police rolling up to a school when a threat comes in. A new reporting system aims to handle every tip differently, and it starts with hearing from you.
Our Gabriella Becerra learned how Speak Up, Speak Out Wisconsin works and why the state is encouraging students to use it. Gabby?
Threats to school safety can now be prevented with the touch of a finger. The Speak Up, Speak Out website, app, and tip line allows students, parents, staff, anyone to get in touch with professionals who are trained to provide the proper response.
School safety has evolved over the last several years, and for bigger districts today it can be rather complex.
It's impossible to prevent all dangerous situations, but Madison Metropolitan School District spokesperson Tim Lamont says having a connection with students will make it easier to get ahead of potential threats.
Yeah, there are incidents every year where there's information that comes from the community to a school principal or to a teacher, but this really does streamline that process for people.
Although many students aren't physically sitting in the classroom this year,
but that actually makes this an even more critical time for this program.
Speak Up, Speak Out is a new resource through the Wisconsin Department of Justice. The 24/7 system gathers information about potential school threats. The Office of School Safety has staff ready to assign the best support to defuse those threats, which isn't always police.
The analysts who are working for Speak Up, Speak Out, they are trained in how to respond to the different types of tips that come in so that an appropriate response can happen.
Mental health challenges are one threat that affect more than half of high school students in the state, according to Wisconsin Superintendent Carolyn Stanford Taylor. And she says a friend at school can be the one to potentially save their life.
Students are usually one of the first to know when something is happening between their peers. This Speak Up, Speak Out allows students who hear or see a threat to say something.
Tips can be submitted online at speakup.widoj.gov, through the Speak Up, Speak Out Wisconsin app, and by calling 1-800-MY-SUSO-1.
It's timely because our students are coming back from a summer. I mean, I don't have to tell you, it's a summer that many of us will never forget.
As with any tip line, there's always the possibility of fake tips and threats, and to that, the Attorney General says all tips will be vetted and taken seriously. While all submissions are confidential, if a fake threat is confirmed, the IP address of the sender will be handed over to local law enforcement.
Gabby, thank you. News 3 Now held a special Facebook Live with Madison School's new superintendent, Dr. Carlton Jenkins, this afternoon.
Charlotte Deleste moderated the discussion, and she joins us now with more on what happened. Charlotte.
Well, Mark and Susan, Dr. Jenkins and I were joined by a panel of 6 students from middle and high schools and the district's senior leadership team. Students had their own questions as they get ready for virtual learning to begin next Tuesday. We also gathered questions from the community as well as those who were watching in real time. School safety was a topic, particularly school resource officers. Here's what Dr. Jenkins had to say.
I support student self-management and doing things like restorative practices for our students and having them help shape the culture in the schools. And we know that that's a long way to go in terms of getting students where they totally need to be. But I am one who believes that students can and staff can manage schools, and we don't need resource officers necessarily.
So we touched on a wide variety of topics, from special education to food insecurities to grading and how to support the students' emotional well-being, among other many topics. You can watch the 55-minute-long conversation on our News 3 Now Channel 3000 Facebook page.
All right, Charlotte, thank you. Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden will visit Kenosha tomorrow, his first campaign stop in the state since declaring his candidacy. Biden and his wife Jill will hold a community meeting to bring people together, according to the campaign, and then make an unidentified local stop. The visit comes on the heels of Tuesday's trip to Kenosha by President Trump, where he visited businesses impacted by rioting following the police shooting of 29-year-old Jacob Blake.
People were very afraid in Kenosha. Businesses were burned down. People were locking their doors in their houses, putting kids in basements, getting their hunting rifles out because they were scared for their life.
The situation on the ground in Kenosha had been improving significantly over the past several days, and having the president come brought more attention to that situation. We also, unfortunately, didn't hear any condemnation of vigilante violence.
Both President Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden are out with new ads focusing on nationwide protests, with each candidate blaming the other for the violence. The Trump campaign has a new ad out in Wisconsin trying to paint Biden as weak on crime. The Biden ad calls for people rioting and looting to be prosecuted, while accusing President Trump of spreading fear. President Trump campaigned today in the battleground state of North Carolina. The battleship North Carolina stood in the background as President Trump named Wilmington America's first World War II heritage city. But the president's trip to the Tar Heel state was also political. The latest CBS News battleground tracker poll showing it as a toss-up. Face masks and social distancing were sparse during the president's events, in contrast to Joe Biden's socially distanced Delaware news conference. Earlier, Biden attended a virtual briefing on the coronavirus and schools with his wife, Jill Biden.
In Rock County, people say they want to see change and an end to systemic racism. People gathered this afternoon outside of First Congregational United Church of Christ in Janesville. Protesters stood together with church staff to bring a peaceful message of justice. They say everyone should be hurt by the shooting of Jacob Blake.
If my sister is suffering, then I am suffering. If my brother is being shot in the back 7 times, I am being shot in the back 7 times. This is not just about me or one church. This is about all of us together.
Anyone attending was asked to wear a mask. Protesters created a circle with cloth in lieu of holding hands.
Nearly half of the Boston Police Department officers are on leave, but the department won't say why. 2 more officers were placed on leave today. City Administrator Randy Reed says that the incident happened on August 26th, leading the most recent suspensions. Officials say the other officers are on leave for an unrelated incident. An external law enforcement agency is reviewing each case.
Moving to the coronavirus pandemic now, a little more than 500 more people have tested positive for COVID-19 in Wisconsin. During much of the second half of August, the state saw lower daily case counts, and the trend seems to be continuing. Experts believe the state's mask mandate is helping. However, they're still concerned about the amount of spread in the state and the amount of people who have died. The state is nearing 1,200 deaths.
A trial begins today in Paris for more than a dozen people accused of helping gunmen attack the satirical newspaper Charlie Hebdo and a Jewish supermarket more than 5 years ago. Amid heavy security, 11 of the 14 accused arrived in court. The 3 others are being tried in absentia, having disappeared years ago to join ISIS. All are charged with buying weapons and offering logistical help in a wave of violence that struck Paris in 2015. It began when 2 brothers allegedly stormed the offices of Charlie Hebdo, killing 12 before fleeing. Over the next 2 days, another suspect killed a policewoman and took hostages at a Jewish supermarket, killing 4. Police killed all 3 attackers. Lawyers say this trial is about freedom of expression.
It's a fight for democracy, for freedom, and for the republic that is taking place in this courtroom and outside of it.
The magazine marked the start of the trial by reprinting controversial cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad, which many believe made them a target for the attack. Well, still to come at 4, the CDC is temporarily halting evictions nationwide amid the pandemic.
We'll find out who's protected and why the CDC is involved. That's when Live at 4 continues. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
It's the Ayers Furniture 80th anniversary sale with huge savings on quality name brands including Lazy Boy with recliners starting at $299 and Smith Brothers Amish handcrafted sofas at special anniversary sale prices. Ayers Furniture with free delivery. Don't miss it.
If you suffer from painful varicose veins or embarrassing spider veins, Stoughton Hospital's Dr. Aaron Schwab can help make those unsightly veins disappear. Call today for your consultation. Stoughton Hospital, trusted care, close to home.
To fix the economy, we have to get control over the virus. I'm releasing a plan to save lives in the months ahead. We need increased federal support for testing, doubling the number of drive-through testing sites. We absolutely need a clear message from the very top of our federal government that everyone needs to wear a mask in public. Every single frontline worker should have the personal protective equipment that they need to be safe. We need to support schools and child care programs so parents, if and when they can return to work, are confident that their children will be safe and cared for. And finally, we need to protect the populations most at risk, our seniors, vulnerable populations with pre-existing conditions. We need real plans, real guidelines with uniform nationwide standards. It's a simple proposition, folks. We're all in this together. We got to fight this together. We'll emerge from this stronger because we did it together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Who is USAA made for? It's made for this guy, a veteran who honorably served. And it's made for her. She's serving now. We made it for all branches and all ranks, whether they served one tour or made a career of it. We also made USAA for military spouses and their kids. USAA is easy to work with and can save you money on auto, home, and renter's insurance. Become a member today. Get an insurance quote at usaa.com/quote. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
Lately, we've come to appreciate what home has to offer. Right now at Feldco, buy one window and you'll get one free, plus no interest for 1 year. That'll help keep your home and your family warm, safe, and comfortable all year long. That's something we've been providing for almost 50 years. Let Feldco get you ready for colder weather. Buy one window, get one free now.
Buy one, get one free, and soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
If you suffer from painful varicose veins or embarrassing spider veins, Stoughton Hospital's Dr. Aaron Schwab can help make those unsightly veins disappear. Call today for your consultation. Stoughton Hospital, trusted care, close to home.
It's the Ayers Furniture 80th anniversary sale with huge savings on quality name brands including Sealy, with queen-size sets starting at $399 and Flex Steel sofas starting at $899. Ayers 80th anniversary sale, and Saturday at 5 p.m.
Welcome back, everyone. A recent report from the Aspen Institute showed millions of Americans are at risk of eviction because of the pandemic.
Many eviction moratoriums have either expired or are going to soon, but now the federal government is stepping in. A small demonstration was held in York, Pennsylvania this week with people asking for rent relief, including mother of 4, Naomi Lopez. Lopez, speaking through an interpreter, says she and her husband lost work during the pandemic and are now behind on the rent.
It's really scary knowing I'm in this situation. We've had to live off of our savings.
But now she's getting a lifeline. The CDC is putting a stop to most evictions for the rest of the year. The health agency says if millions don't have a place to live, it could further spread the virus. Renters say what they really need is help paying the rent. The CDC moratorium does not relieve tenants of future rent obligations, and it only applies to people making less than $99,000 a year or joint filers making less than $198,000. Newman says without more government aid, renters will just keep racking up debt. Another record-setting day on Wall Street. The Dow Industrial surged 454 points, ending the day at 29,100. The NASDAQ added 116 points, and the S&P 500 up 54, both setting another record high close. The Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra performed the last of 2 live concerts last night at Breese Stevens Field.
The regular concerts on the square will hopefully return next June. All summer, we've been introducing you to the musicians that make those concerts so special. Today, we meet one of the flute players who lives in Detroit. Here's Maestro Andrew Sewell with the introduction.
Brandon LePage. Brandon joined us in 2016. Our principal flute, he lives in the Detroit area. We have a wonderful history. His flute teacher was formerly a principal flute of mine when I was working in the Ann Arbor, Detroit area. We're delighted that Brandon makes the journey from Detroit to play with the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra. His sound just makes a beautiful addition to the sheen that comes from our woodwind section.
I have chosen today to play Paganini's first Caprice for solo violin, obviously, on the flute. It's a tricky piece of music, but it's super fun and super cute. I hope you all enjoy it, and I look forward to the next time I get to come to Madison to make music and engage with all of you. The flute is an instrument that I had always been interested in learning how to play, but I have one very specific memory of being a very young kid and going to church with my mom every week. She used to listen to a lot of Gloria Estefan, and in one of Gloria Estefan's songs, she actually has the line that goes, "Flute player, play your flute," and then there's a flute solo that happens, and I desperately wanted to learn how to play that solo. So I just asked my mom if we could get a flute so I could learn the solo. And that set me on a journey that I have never looked back from. It's not often that we get the opportunity to truly know each other in an orchestra like this because it's a little bit more traveling. You know, I come in, I come out, and to have the opportunity to get to know each individual person and have that connection to not only them, but the music that we're making for Madison is so special. I miss it dearly, and I hope that next summer we are able to present again Concerts on the Square to you.
What a difficult instrument to play.
I tried to play it in high school.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm in complete awe of that. And we can thank Gloria Estefan for his talent.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Well, still to come at 4, 75 years ago today, World War II came to an end.
It's VJ Day, the day Japan formally surrendered to the United States. A look back at that fateful day coming up after Dana's First Warn forecast.
Ashley Home Store's unbeatable Labor Day 72-hour mattress sale is on. We guarantee the best mattress deals in Wisconsin. Savings up to 60% off top brands. And free delivery within 5 days on in-stock beds. Only at Ashley Home Store.
I wanted my hepatitis C gone.
I put off treating mine.
APPLIANCE treats all main types of chronic hep C. Whatever your type, APPLIANCE could be your kind of cure.
I just found out about mine.
I knew for years. APPLIANCE has a 98% overall cure rate.
I had no symptoms of hepatitis C.
Mine caused liver damage.
Epclusa is only one pill, once a day, taken with or without food for 12 weeks. Before starting Epclusa, your doctor will test if you have had hepatitis B, which may flare up and could cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you have had hepatitis B, other liver or kidney problems, HIV or other medical conditions, and all medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Taking amiodarone with Epclusa may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Common side effects include headache and tiredness. Ask your doctor today if Epclusa is your kind of cure.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event. Time's running out to buy America's best-selling brand with our best deals of the summer, like 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup, plus the Ford Promise. But hurry while selection is best. The Ford Summer Sales Event ends September 8th. Hurry in to get 0% APR financing for 72 months, plus the peace of mind of the Ford Promise. See your local Ford dealer today.
Scranton is a long way from Wall Street. You won't find skyscrapers or big city bankers, just hard-working people. That's where Joe Biden's story starts. It's why he's running for president, for the backbone of this nation, working families. Donald Trump, he's in it for himself and his wealthy friends. In this crisis, we need to help workers and small businesses, and we need a president who will build back better.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
A smile has the power to get you feeling all right. At Aspen Dental, we're making every day a little brighter with our Smile Wide, Smile Safe promise. We've got you covered in every way, giving deep cleaning a whole new meaning. And if you don't have insurance, we'll give you an extra safety net too, with a free new patient exam and x-rays. At Aspen Dental, we're making it all right to feel safe and get smiling. We promise. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL.
Furniture and Appliance Mart's 72-hour Labor Day appliance sale is on. Get Wisconsin's best appliance deals guaranteed, plus 18 months no interest, and free delivery within 5 days on all in-stock appliances at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley Home Store off the Beltline.
Take a look at this. A performer pulls off an incredible stunt. Watch this. Whoa. Let's take another look at it from a different angle. Isn't that something?
That is incredible.
Yevgeny Chubatiryev is riding on top of a car and leaps up at the precise moment to fly through the middle of a metal cylinder. The precision involved in both the timing and positioning of the self-taught stuntman is amazing. As you can see, it took him several practice runs with a soft hoop and a few more with a metal container before he finally got it right.
How fast was the car going?
I don't know. Pretty fast.
You missed that by a fraction of an inch.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that can go wrong.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. A lot of stuff can go wrong with that. Fortunately, it didn't. Just like the weather today.
Yeah, beautiful. Really enjoy the sunshine. It feels so nice outside. I'm close to 80 degrees right now, so we're going to enjoy the rest of this evening to start off September with a pretty mild note. Sunshine for the next few days before we do have some rain chances as we get ahead to the weekend. That guy's hoping for some cooler weather. We'll be right back right after the break.
Now, a WISC-TV editorial with editorial director Neil Heinan.
As we've experienced here in Madison, it is frightening and terribly sad to see the destruction in the city of Kenosha. We are also familiar with the complicated dynamic that led to the damage in Kenosha and cities around the country. The work of addressing those issues must and will go on. But it's not unjust or wrong to feel for the citizens of Kenosha and the lives affected by property destroyed and businesses ruined. Black lives matter and must be valued and protected, period. We can do that and support and help the citizens of Kenosha recover and rebuild. Governor Evers' allocation of $1 million in microloans to businesses is a start. But Kenosha is a good town, integral to the state. It's been through a lot over the years, and it'll get through this as well. But we want Kenosha to know we'll stand with them and do what we can to help.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final boarding call to enjoy nonstop routes to summer in a new Nissan.
And don't miss the 2020 Nissan Bottom Line Sales Event. Save up to $2,000 on select models.
These deals are amazing.
I know. How do we get them?
Okay, we have to be very subtle about asking, like this.
Like this?
No, like this.
Actually, you don't have to do any of that. We have great deals for everyone.
Even without the...
You would have gotten it anyway.
Cool.
If you've forgotten what a fair deal sounds like, let us remind you. Switch to US Cellular and get $700 off the latest smartphones with no activation fee. US Cellular. Upgrade to fair.
Sometimes you can't get to the store to get the items you need, but that doesn't mean you have to go without. Eye Care offers complete health coverage. Members receive up to $1,440 in over-the-counter items delivered right to their door for free. Our catalog includes hundreds of products, such as over-the-counter medications, vitamins, and first aid supplies. There's also flexibility to use these benefits in-store using an Eye Care benefit card. Rest easy. Eye Care is looking out for your health needs.
Lawless criminals terrorize Kenosha. Joe Biden takes a knee. Biden and the radical left's weak response has led to chaos and violence, and their calls for defunding police would make it worse. President Trump is making it stop, sending National Guard and federal law enforcement to protect Wisconsin's families. Communities, not criminals. Jobs, not mobs. Strong leadership when America needs it most.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
People were afraid I was contagious. I felt gross.
It was kind of a shock after I started Cosentyx. 4 years clear.
Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentyx. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms. If your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to, serious allergic reactions may occur. Learn more at Cosentyx.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final boarding call to enjoy non-stop routes to summer in a new Nissan.
And don't miss the 2020 Nissan Bottom Line Sales Event. Get 0% financing for 72 months on 9 models.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It is sunny and pleasant outside right now, and as far as the tropics are concerned, both systems we're monitoring moving away from us. Tropical Depression Omar continuing to travel away from our coastline out into the middle of the Atlantic, just weakening and becoming a big blob of rain here over the next few days. Tropical Storm Nana, though, starting to get a little bit closer to the Yucatan Peninsula, likely going to make landfall sometime tomorrow, still as a tropical storm, not quite getting enough moisture or warmth to strengthen to a Category 1 hurricane, which is good along the coast. They'll still have quite a bit of storm surge and rain and wind passing through, but as a tropical storm, not as a hurricane. For us, only sunshine. We'll have clear skies through the rest of the afternoon. Overnight, temperatures will hold pretty steady in the low 60s. We won't drop too much for our overnight lows. Tomorrow, we're expecting quite a bit of wind to rip through. It'll be windy through the afternoon as a cold front passes. We won't see any rain along with that front, but our temperatures will be close to the mid-70s around noon, and then notice by 3-4 o'clock we start falling already. Our temperature switch, our wind speed switch, coming from the northwest, so that cooler air comes in, and we'll see our temperatures fall overnight. So Friday will be a little cooler outside. Overnight lows for Friday near 50 degrees, and then those afternoon highs will be climbing to the mid to low 70s for us. But we get to enjoy the sunshine again for Thursday, Friday, and as we head into Saturday, it's not until the end of Labor Day weekend that the rain chances will start to redevelop. Our wind speeds for tomorrow afternoon behind that front should be close to about 20 miles per hour, and that's sustained wind speed. So our wind gusts could easily climb to the mid to low 30s. It's going to be a very breezy day outside for Thursday, so it would be a good day if it's your trash day to make sure that you get the bins back inside as quickly as possible, or if you do have anything outside that could get blown around. I just want to keep an eye on that for tomorrow afternoon and evening. Still just a little dry outside. This yellow or abnormally dry status on the drought monitor stretching through much of central Wisconsin and now starting to creep into the very southwest corner of the state, part of Grant County, and that abnormally dry range. A bit of rain would be good. Some cooler temperatures would also be good to stop that evaporation. But as we look ahead through fall, this is a graphic from our partners over at Climate Central. Very likely that our temperatures are going to be increasing. This is a look at our temperatures since 1970, and you can see throughout the country we've been increasing for each year. In fact, in Madison, A little more local look. We're expecting 14 days today, or 14 more days over the fall, to be above average. We'll see that trend continuing on with our temperatures as they climb above average, likely anywhere from 2 to 3 inches above average. This is the trend that we've seen again since 1970, just kind of on the uptick. Even though, as we look ahead to next week, might be just a little cooler outside. That warmer air will be developing, pushing into the end of our fall season. Tomorrow, high temperatures in the mid-70s, about 76 for us in Madison. We'll have sunshine. It'll be windy outside. Mid-70s on Friday, just a little cooler, and we'll be at 80 for Saturday and Sunday with rain chances as we look ahead to next week.
Timing's everything, I guess. Get out on Saturday.
Yeah, looks good.
Enjoy the sun.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Dana.
Well, daredevil David Blaine performed his latest stunt in the Arizona desert today. He ascended nearly 30,000 feet into the sky before parachuting safely back to Earth. This looks like something from that movie Up.
It is.
Remember that? He set off around 7:30 this morning, gradually dropping small weights to speed up his ascent. And then he put on the parachute mid-flight and strapped on an oxygen mask as he neared 29,400 feet, an altitude where most commercial airlines travel. Today's stunt lasted roughly 30 minutes, reaching an altitude slightly higher than Mount Everest. Blaine released himself from the balloon cluster and free fell for 30 seconds before deploying a parachute on his ride back to Earth.
And the whole thing was live on YouTube.
Was it really?
Apparently.
Oh, interesting. What incredible.
It is. Well, on this date 75 years ago, Japan formally signed surrender documents aboard the battleship USS Missouri in Hawaii's Tokyo Bay, officially ending World War II.
The war lasted 6 years and it involved at least 30 countries. Today, a special commemoration ceremony took place at the Battleship Missouri Memorial in Pearl Harbor. Chris Martinez reports.
We commemorate a huge milestone, the 75th anniversary of one of the most significant events in history, the ending of World War II.
World War II veterans, active military members, and dignitaries gathered to mark the milestone. The event was scaled down because of coronavirus. Many veterans, now in their 90s, were unable to attend, but some shared their memories in a video.
We knew a possibility we may not come back, but we didn't dwell on that.
Some guy caught it, and he jumped up. He says, "The war is over." And another guy said, "The war is over."
It was on September 2nd, 1945, that Allied Forces Commander General Douglas MacArthur and a Japanese delegation signed surrender documents, officially ending the war.
Let us pray that peace be now restored to the world, and that God will preserve it always.
The historic event happened just weeks after the U.S. dropped bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, bringing Japan to its knees. Days later, Japanese Emperor Hirohito broadcast a surrender message to his people on the radio.
I deem this reply a full acceptance of the Potsdam Declaration, which specifies the unconditional surrender of Japan.
Japan was the last to surrender. The anniversary holds special meaning for those serving today.
As you're standing outside the USS Missouri, you're steps away from a memorial for the USS Arizona and our battleships that went down during Pearl Harbor.
A new generation, ensuring the sacrifices of the greatest generation are never forgotten. Chris Martinez, CBS News.
More than 400,000 Americans died fighting in World War II, and many of those deaths were sailors, airmen, Marines, and soldiers battling the forces of Imperial Japan in the Pacific Theater.
Millions of Americans supported the war effort at home, working in war industries, purchasing war bonds, recycling materials, and rationing consumer goods. And we'll be right back.
If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Gina, along with spokesman Rob. So, Rob, tell the folks at home who should call right now.
Just like you said, Gina, anyone who's been injured in an accident that was not your fault, you don't have an attorney, give us a call right now. We're going to answer all of your questions, and we'll let you know what your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Rob. You heard it, folks at home. Pick up the phone. Call now.
Let me introduce me. Here I come.
colors, braids, and fades. We stand for style. Cost Cutter Salons.
#1 in color in Wisconsin.
Surgenian's 90th anniversary has store-wide savings, and when you have Madison's biggest selection of flooring, it means big savings. And that means every department from carpeting to wood to waterproof flooring to rugs, plus special 18-month financing too. Local, sustainable Surgenians.
Where can a healthier heart lead you? For people with heart failure taking Entresto, it may lead to a world of possibilities. Entresto helps people stay alive and out of the hospital. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto.
You were always the responsible one, so much like me, always taking care of everyone else. But this wasn't your responsibility. I already took care of the arrangements. The Ryans made it so easy. I didn't want you to worry about a thing. It's my last gift to you, my lovely daughter.
Hi, folks, we're back, and we're here to remind you, if you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to tell you how much money you can get for your accident and how quickly. Hello, I'm Gina, along with spokesperson Rob. Rob, tell the folks at home who should call right now.
Just like you said, Gina, anyone who's been injured in an accident that was not your fault, you don't have an attorney, give us a call right now, and we'll let you know how much money you can get for your accident.
Thanks, Rob. Call now.
Tonight at 5, President Donald Trump is out with a new ad focusing on nationwide protests. We'll have a reality check on that ad ahead at 5.
Dry weather is expected through Saturday, although it will be a little windy tomorrow and breezy on Friday. Some rain chances will return Sunday and Labor Day Monday. My forecast at 5.
And ahead at 6, the selection process is underway for a newly approved civilian oversight board. A look at how they'll interact with police. That's tonight. Join us for News 3 Now at 6.
A live look at the UW Memorial Union Terrace. That's a perfect place to be today. It's first day of classes.
It is.
For UW students. I'm wishing my son it's the first day of his senior year at UW Madison today. I can't
Where does the time go?
Honestly, don't blink. I know, it's crazy. Well, a new study finds 3 times more people were suffering from depression at the beginning of the pandemic compared to the same time period last year.
Now, 5 months later, as the virus and economic hardships has spread across the country, researchers say it's possible levels of depression are even higher. It's been a tough year for Craig Eaton inside his California dive shop. Eaton says he's put on 40 pounds while dealing with levels of stress he's never dealt with before. The pandemic wiped out thousands of dollars of his business, and he's struggling to make ends meet.
Can you describe what that stress feels like?
Helplessness. Feeling like I'm completely not in control of the things that I'm supposed to be in control of.
He isn't alone. In a new study published in JAMA, the number of Americans reporting symptoms of depression tripled during the first few weeks of April compared with the same time period in 2019. Study author Kathleen Ettman says women were more likely to feel depressed, as were people struggling with finances. Researchers conducted this survey when the pandemic was at its height in New York City. Well, some recovered coronavirus patients are left with permanent lung damage.
In the U.S., 7 of those patients have received a rare double lung transplant. CBS News chief medical correspondent Dr. John LaPook spoke exclusively with one of those survivors.
In mid-March, the early days of the pandemic in the U.S., coronavirus was not on Brian Kunz's mind.
I heard just a very little about it. Sure enough, though, the next day I heard about it.
The 62-year-old was working at his suburban Chicago auto shop when he hit a wall.
I just got back from lunch, and I got sick. Boom, I was done.
He would shake so bad, like a jackhammer. Not just like a shiver, but I mean a violently jerking shake.
Kuhn's wife, Nancy, rushed him to the hospital.
I don't remember anything for like a month and a half after that. The first time I woke up in the hospital, I couldn't breathe.
His lungs were severely damaged and unable to supply enough oxygen to his body, even with a ventilator. So doctors started ECMO, a life support treatment that uses a machine outside the body to add oxygen to blood. He was on it for 100 days. Alone in the hospital, he prepared his wife, daughters, and grandchildren for the worst.
I said, don't expect me to come home. Love you, goodbye.
And then finally, what happened?
They said there's nothing else we can do. It's either get a transplant or die. I took a chance. And those guys were relentless. They wouldn't give up.
We provided the oxygen. Those guys were Dr. Ankit Bharat and his transplant team at Northwestern Medicine.
This was the treatment of last resort for him. We told him, like, I cannot, say with certainty that he will get through this, but we have done it once before.
Just a month earlier, Dr. Bharat's team performed the first successful double lung transplant on a COVID patient in the U.S. She was 28 years old. Now it was Kuhn's turn. When you opened up his chest in the operating room, what did his lungs look like?
In patients who have this COVID-19 lung injury and lung failure, they develop these punched out holes throughout the lungs. And Brian, he had big cavities. The lung was stuck to the heart, to the diaphragm, to the chest wall.
The day after the 10-hour surgery, doctors took Brian off the ventilator to test out his new lungs.
And of course, the first thing I did was go, wow.
Is that okay? Okay. You getting tired?
Kuhn's has weeks of rehabilitation before he can go home. He's lost weight and muscle tone, but gained a new appreciation for the miracle of a simple breath of air.
I suspect you will never take breathing for granted again.
No, I won't.
Dr. Bharat says this rare treatment may be expanded to help a relatively small number of other severely ill COVID-19 patients. Meanwhile, after working for years as a self-employed mechanic, Kuntz is now retired and told me, I got a little camper, maybe I'll go see the USA. Dr. John LaPook, CBS News.
Good for him. We wish him well. It is incredible.
Well, it's time to get your plant and garden questions answered.
Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is standing by on the weather patio. There she is. She's ready to take your questions. If you have a question for Lisa, call now. The number is 270-9933. We'll be right back.
Of course, it's been a trusted brand for over 40 years, and now they're starting a brand new service. We have Tasha Robinson here joining us today. So, Age at Home by a Grace is what?
Age at Home by a Grace is a high-quality personal care program that specializes in housekeeping, companion care, running errands, a chore service.
And a Grace really has been compassionate end-of-life services for so long, but Age at Home is very different.
Age at Home is more personal care.
And I'm really excited. I have this fancy Age at Home shirt, so I get to play a caregiver today, and we're gonna go see Terry. What are some of the things that we need to help Terry with?
Today we're going to help Terry with a sandwich. He likes to have a sandwich prepared for him so that he can have it later on in the day. We also help remind him to take his medications. So those are the services we will provide for him today.
And you are hiring for those exact caregivers because you have a lot of people who are looking to have this service here in Dane County.
Yes, we are. We're always looking for caregivers. We have part-time hours, a very flexible schedule, and we have awesome clients to work with.
Tasha, who could benefit from a service like Age at Home?
Anyone in the community, anyone who needs personal care services, chore services. If you are just being discharged from the hospital and you need someone to come in and maybe make a bed for you, walk your dog, because we have pet services as well. If you need assistance with errands, we can do that. So anyone that needs help.
How are you at cards? Because I'm pretty competitive.
So am I.
Oh boy, here we go. If you are looking for any personal or companion care, please keep Age at Home by a Grace in mind. I'm Emmy Fink, and you're buzzed into Madison.
Who is USAA made for? It's made for this guy, a veteran who honorably served. And it's made for her. She's serving now. We made it for all branches and all ranks, whether they served one tour or made a career of it. We also made USAA for military spouses and their kids. USAA is easy to work with and can save you money on auto, home, and renter's insurance. Become a member today. Get an insurance quote at USAA.com/quote. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
Lawless criminals terrorize Kenosha. Joe Biden takes a knee. Biden and the radical left's weak response has led to chaos and violence, and their calls for defunding police would make it worse. President Trump is making it stop, sending National Guard and federal law enforcement to protect Wisconsin's families. Communities, not criminals. Jobs, not mobs. Strong leadership when America needs it most.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Traffic should be pretty smooth this evening. Of course, you'll need the sunglasses just because it's a little bright outside right now. Southwest Wisconsin, we're not seeing any delays. Downtown Madison, a few stop and go spots, a few more folks hopping on the Beltline, but no accidents to report right now. Downtown Janesville and the interstate looks good all through Rock County. Now from Janesville to the Beltline, about 26 minutes, 16 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton, and Sun Prairie to downtown, about 9 minutes this evening. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Jenna, thank you. No New York State Fair this year, but that's not keeping the American Dairy Association from displaying its annual showcase. The ADA unveiled this year's butter sculpture at the New York Fairgrounds. The sculpture reflects its 2020 theme, Nourishing Our Future. It shows two different scenes. On one side, a dairy farmer is depicted providing milk to a child learning from home with his mother and a virtual teacher. On the other side, a child learns in school while the school nutrition worker delivers them a meal. Artists used 800 pounds of butter to create the sculpture.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Time to get your plant and garden questions answered.
If you have a question for Lisa Briggs, the number is 270-9933. Lisa's out on the sunny weather patio. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hello. How are you guys?
We're doing great.
Good. Great to see you. The phones are jammed, and we've got some Facebook questions, too.
Exciting.
We asked people to ask questions on Facebook, and Margaret wrote, what do I do to keep gardenia alive during winter? Mine always turns yellow.
It's really tricky to keep gardenia around. They're very touchy as houseplants. One of the things you want to do is make sure that you use an acidic fertilizer and that it gets plenty of light, and watch the watering. Let it dry out a little bit between the waterings.
All right, very
and
good
luck.
Let's go ahead.
They're very temperamental.
Thank you for your question today. Let's go ahead and get to the phones, and we'll start with Tom in Windsor. Hi, Tom. What's your question?
Hello. I am curious. How do I tell when my cantaloupe are ripe and ready to pick?
Oh, my goodness. Well, when I go to the grocery store, I kind of knock on them. I would think that, you know what, I don't know how to tell if your cantaloupe are ripe. I really don't, and I'm sorry about that. Why don't you email the question to us at plantdesk@brucecompany.com, and I will have Gail answer you tomorrow.
Tom, that is a first. Somebody actually stumped Lisa.
Stumped Lisa Briggs.
That's never happened.
I have no idea when your cantaloupe are ripe.
All right, let's go to Debbie in Madison. Hi, Debbie. What's your question?
Yes, I have a peony bush that never bloomed this year at all.
Okay.
And last year it did bloom. And, you know, when we had that cold weather in April, last year it kind of bent over.
Okay.
And then it grew back up and it did bloom. But this year it didn't bloom at all. And it's green. I just don't see any buds. So I was wondering if I should just cut it back and, you know, see if maybe it'll grow back next year.
One of the things that will prevent peonies from blooming is that if you are a person who mulches your garden, that maybe the mulch around the crown of the peony got a little bit higher than it would like to be. Peonies like their buds, their flower buds that are the little buds at the top of the rooting, the bulb structures, to be no more than 2 inches below the surface of the soil. So you really want to keep mulch away from the crown of the plant. So when those shoots start to come up in the spring, make sure that you've pulled your mulch away and that you can see bare soil there, and that might help.
Okay, let's go to Kathleen in Madison. Hi, Kathleen.
I have 2 magnolia trees and now an eastern redbud that have scale.
Okay.
And one of them is really advanced. The wasps are circling all the time.
Okay.
What can I do?
So scale, magnolia scale, has become a really bad problem in the last, 6 or 7 years. There are 2 times when you can treat it, and I think the time to treat the crawlers is just about past. The other thing you can do is in the early spring, just as the weather starts to warm up, you can spray it with a dormant oil spray, and that will help prevent new eggs from hatching. Once the little larvae are under those little waxy, scaly kind of structures, they're impossible to deal with. Nothing can penetrate that. So, so you'll want to treat next spring, and you'll use a dormant oil spray, and that should help. If it's really bad, though, you might have to take it out, and I wouldn't replace it with another magnolia.
Oh, really?
Wow. Okay, let's go to Joan in Lancaster. Hi, Joan. What's your question?
I have a huge hydrangea bush, and last year I think it gave me one blossom, maybe one the year before that, and this year nothing. It's just greener than green, and I'm wondering if I should dig it up, start over. I cut it back each year. I would love to have blossoms again.
Okay, so when it does blossom, does it have the big cone-shaped blossoms or the rounded ones?
Round.
Okay, and how, when you say it's really huge, how big is it, how high is it?
Oh, 30 inches.
Okay.
Maybe 36. And it's about 6 feet across.
So it sounds like it's got the white flowers. I would cut it back in the spring. When you see where the buds are coming, those Annabelle types, those big white blousy ones, those flower on new wood. Annabelle types can take a fair amount of shade. It might be that it's gotten a little bit shaded in its spot, and maybe you just need to open up the canopy a little bit, maybe do a little pruning of whatever trees are over it, and get a little bit more light on it.
Okay. Let's go to Donna in Lodi. Hi, Donna.
Hi.
What's your question?
My question is, when you are dividing or splitting a hosta, do you have to dig up the complete clump, or can you just dig up a portion of it?
You can just dig up a portion of it. Hosta are pretty resilient. The thing about digging up the whole clump is that you can split it into multiple pieces and move it around. But if you just want to slice off a section and move that section, that's fine. And now is the time to do that. Now that they're done flowering, make sure you cut the flower stalks off first, and then you can slice it up and move it around. I would certainly apply like a root stimulating fertilizer on it, but there's plenty of time for those hostas to get reacclimated and reestablished before winter.
They are tough.
Yes. They are tough.
All right, we're out of time. Lisa, thanks for coming out today.
It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you, too. We'll do this again soon.
Thank you for all the calls, and we'll be right back with the final check of your forecast.
Ashley Home Store's unbeatable Labor Day 72-hour mattress sale is on. We guarantee the best mattress deals in Wisconsin. Savings up to 60% off top brands. And free delivery within 5 days on in-stock beds. Only at Ashley Home Store.
The Golf Range and Suites of By-10's Golfland provide safe fun. Golf range buckets and balls are sanitized after each use, and high-touch areas are regularly sanitized. Full grill and bar service is provided safely to your golf suite by wait staff. Try fun, easy-to-play top tracer games like Go Fish, only at By-10's Golfland.
Habitat for Humanity of Dane County continues building and bringing stability to families through homeownership. As area families experience hardships, Habitat provides a pathway to financial security and independence. Strengthen our community. Support Habitat Dane County.
Our seniors that are being hit the hardest, they're frightened. And I want them to know that their health and safety will be my responsibility if I'm your president. And I'll have from day one, ready to go, the best medical experts and scientists to advise on our response. And I will not abandon you. It's a simple proposition, folks. We're all in this together. We got to fight this together. We'll emerge from this stronger because we did it together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
By-10's Golfland offers 3 award-winning 18-hole miniature golf courses, 2 outside and 1 inside, all open day and night. Have peace of mind. Miniature golf clubs and balls are sanitized after each use, and high-touch areas are regularly sanitized. Enjoy safe fun for everyone at By-10's Golfland.
Ashley Home Store's unbeatable Labor Day 72-hour sale is on. Save up to 60% off special buys and doorbusters. Plus, get a bonus 5% holiday discount at checkout. And 5-year interest-free affordability makes for low monthly payments. Online and in-store at Ashley Home Store.
As University of Wisconsin campuses reopen, News 3 Now's Chris Stanford brings you an exclusive interview with UW System President Tommy Thompson.
Protect the professor, the instructor, the employees, and above all, the students.
Wednesday at 6, only on News 3 Now. Road closures, slick conditions, poor visibility. Don't let traffic delays mess with your commute. Watch News 3 Now for an accurate first warn traffic report so you know what to expect before you head out the door.
We are expecting a nice sunny evening if you're trying to get outside. Dry weather for Thursday, Friday, and through Saturday, but the shower chances will return for Sunday and Labor Day Monday. As we look ahead to next week, it's going to get a little cooler outside with high temperatures in the 60s. So again, enjoy the 80 degrees that we have for this evening. It'll be very nice again for the rest of the work week.
All right, Dana, thank you. Tomorrow on Live at 4, veterinarian Carrie Donahue takes your pet questions live.
And we'll tell you about a new fundraising campaign being put on by the Overture Center. They're calling it an intermission campaign. That's tomorrow on Live at 4.